Good morning. It is Thursday, January 21st, and this is Trista Perot and Molly Johnson. I am Trista with mommyupgrade.com. I'm sleep deprived at the moment. I'm a marketing director in Dallas, Texas, and a lifestyle writer, which means I'm a blogger. And so my brand is Mommy Upgrade. I also have another one called Shea Perot that we're trying to build. And then Molly, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Molly Johnson. I'm way over here in Ohio in the snow. And I do a couple of things. I do have a small blog, creative blog, meggymoo.com. And then I'm doing marketing and freelancing as well here in this part of town.
Awesome. So we've been friends for eons, and we have our morning call around this time, and we cover so many different topics. We thought that we would go ahead and blab about them. So anyway, I got some stuff on the books today. You ready to get going?
Sure.
Did you watch the Today Show today?
I did.
Did you see that story about how traditional malls are starting to close? Or what's the future of traditional malls?
Right. I came in on the tail end of that, but it definitely caught my attention at that moment because, they were talking really the tail end, which is the one theory was that they weren't going to change because they'd have entertainment and that kind of stuff. But I do 85% of my shopping online.
I'm an online shopper. I just don't, I hate the mall. I hate it.
Yeah.
Especially
and when you have, I'm saying 15% that I'm not shopping is I'm counting in groceries, but really there are a few of those things that I get online too. So,
well, I started thinking about it while they were talking. I'm like, the only way that I go to the mall is for an experience. So I was glad that they kind of took the story in that direction.
That's true.
I mean, we will go to the mall once a month for the free Lego mini build. And that is an event, right? I mean, you have to sign up ahead of time. You're committed to it. And so if we have to do anything at the mall, like our birthday presents or anything like that, it's like that day. We get in, do all of our stuff, and then get out and hopefully never see it again.
No, you're right. I mean, the thing is I love the mall. I love going to the mall. I have always enjoyed it. Certainly, I mean, they are still mass right now. But our outdoor malls and our, indoor, outdoor quasi malls, love them.
Hey, upcyclers.
Pardon?
We have ultimate upcyclers back with us again.
Okay. So but for practicality, I only shop pretty much online. If I'm going to go buy anything, I check online first. I do. So I don't know what to say because they would have to create a different opportunity for entertainment for me other than purchasing.
Right. And so, and I started thinking about last year. Remember, Macy's had invited me to be a part of their front row event. So Macy's has like these it was a fashion show essentially, but they took it a step further and they had all these different not vendors. We weren't even vendors. There were two bloggers, there were different companies, and then they had all these stations set up around the fashion show in I guess it was the women's department. Yeah, it was the women's department. And so that was an experience event to draw people in, right? So they had a reality star hosting the runway. I was there doing a simple DIY craft project that people could take home with them. I mean, that is something that I would go to the mall to do, but just going to hang out at the mall. The only other thing that I always say that I would do is when I get older, I want to be a mall walker. Like one of those ladies that shows up before the mall opens and like window shops and just like power walks through the mall with a fanny pack.
That reminds me. So when I worked downtown years ago, we had two parking options. Our State Tower building was attached to this great mall, and this huge mall, the biggest Columbus mall. Now it's gone. They've plowed over it. But I had a choice of parking in the very expensive, like underground parking, or I could park at the outdoor parking. And it was at the very end of the mall. And I worked at this law firm for years. I found myself realizing that I needed to pay for the more expensive parking because that trip through the mall cost 10 times more than the actual parking cost for the nicer underground parking, because walking by at the time in Taylor or wherever it was I was interested would be significantly more expensive for me than the actual parking.
Yeah, it's true.
I do like the mall, but practicality, getting things done. I'm online shopping for everything.
The only reasons why I like to go to the mall is if there's something like specific going on, or like if you don't know sizes, you know, like my kid's foot grew a foot and we have to determine what size ballet shoes she needs or something like that. And then sometimes I would just do it anyway. But I thought it was interesting because earlier in the week we were talking about that new direct sales company, LuLaRoe, and how different their sales model is than, you know, your typical, and we're starting to see more of that, right? There's the Usborne Books has that same model where instead of having the classic home show where you have to invite all your friends over and then they're pressured to buy things, and, you know, yes, you get to touch and feel and ooh and ah over the product, but it's not always convenient, and people are so busy that I think it's harder and harder. So I think it's interesting that these direct sales companies are moving in the direction of these pop-up shops through Facebook groups to do events, like to do their sales events, which is interesting. So, you know, I talked before about that company LuLaRoe that's really big into like the soft fabrics, and I think a lot of them are from China and some of them are from here, or maybe the fabric's from China and they're manufactured here. I'm not clear on all of that, but they're not Neiman Marcus designer clothes quality, obviously, but they are definitely hitting that athletic trend that women seem to like so much. I don't know. What do you feel about that trend? You like having the butts hanging out?
The what?
Maybe it's different in Ohio, but around here, the moms wear like stretchy spandex pants.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Activewear. I'm going to my activewear
market. I mean, it's the tracksuit of 2015, right? I mean,
the joggers. They literally, I think it was on the Today Show. No, this was BuzzFeed. Today Show, BuzzFeed, same thing. Totally my references of news. It was dressing up joggers for everyday wear. Now joggers are a little bit different because they have the drawstring and everything. You know, that's the new pants. And but they proved that joggers were still very fancy and could be certainly dressed up.
Okay.
Well, I love leggings and stretchy pants. So
I like leggings. I like stretchy pants. I just don't like my ass hanging out of them. I mean, and I'm not a big person. It's not like somebody would look at me walking and be repulsed or anything like that. But I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal, I guess, of that.
I don't mind it.
Well,
you're right. I tend to wear shirts underneath, but my daughter, who's this big, wears leggings and joggings, or leggings and stuff. And you're right, but she's 11, so.
Well, I know. I mean, I get the long shirts and the leggings. I'm all about that. But it's when they don't wear the long shirts. I don't know. For me, when I see moms like breaking the school dress code, it's like, well, what kind of an example are you setting? And I think it was even worse when we were at private school, because I don't know why.
The moms had a dress code? That's pretty
No, hard. The moms don't have a dress code. That's the thing, though. They would wear things to school that their kids wouldn't be allowed to wear to school.
Oh, like to volunteer and stuff?
To volunteer, to drop their kids off, to go meet with the teacher.
I never really thought about that, I guess. But if I'm dropping someone off, I would wear whatever I want to wear. I'm not going to.
Well, if I'm going to sit in the car, I'll wear slippers. I mean, what's the big deal? But I don't know. If you're going into, I don't know. There's a reason why they don't want those teenage boys to see their butts hanging out. So why are you going to have the moms traipsing around with that? That's my question.
Yeah, that goes into a whole other controversy. The boys are responsible. I'm not going to worry I'm not going to let my daughter wear a completely outrageous clothes. But some of the things that I've seen the kids get sent home for are absurd. We're not going to hold the girls responsible for wearing a long t-shirt and leggings if it's the boys that are causing the problems.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the long t-shirt and the leggings. I just, cover the butt up. But anyway, so that's a really long way to introduce the whole LuLaRoe because their big thing is the leggings, right? So I got some stuff, so I was going to show it to you.
Yeah, I want to see it. Now I've got to Google it on the other screen.
Yeah,
because it was really
about it before, remember? We talked about it before.
I know, but their website was down.
Oh, right.
So how do you spell it?
LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe. All right, so this first pair is probably our biggest winner. I got 4 things. And
how did you bought these things?
I did buy them this week. Right after our show on Monday.
A little fashion show.
No, I'm not doing a fashion show. I'm going to show you.
You went to their trunk show.
They didn't have a trunk show. That's the thing. They sell online. So the way you buy stuff is you get invited to a group. So you join a group and then the group will have an event. And the event will be a pop-up show. I'll invite you to one. They're having one tonight. I can add you to it.
Yeah, because how do you spell it again?
LuLaRoe.
I was doing Lou. I forgot the other L. It's not pulling it up. Okay, sorry. I just want to look at the stuff while you're premiering it.
So you get invited to a group. You're in a group, and then they have events. And so the event will be like a pop-up show. They also do home shows, which I think would probably sell the product a little bit better. But the way they do the event is they put up photos of the inventory that they get and I don't know if they call them consultants or reps or what they are. I don't really understand. I don't look into their structure, their MLM.
Stylist.
So they'll post photos and you claim the item that you want on the photo. So like these, the cupcake loves these. They're Chihuahuas. Can you see them?
Yeah.
So they're yellow with red Chihuahuas and a blue Chihuahua every once in a while. Okay. She adores these. They're really, really super soft. They are. I will give them that. They are totally 100% super soft. And they're just, they're just stretchy pants. So they'll put a photo out there of like one of the items, the style, like the pattern, and then the size. And if you want it, you have to mark sold. And then they invoice you and then they mail it to you. So it's
like eBay, home show, because then you're like, oh, I want that. And you have to get it before someone else gets it.
Exactly. So there's this real sense of urgency, which is kind of fun, because you're sitting there and you're just waiting to see what's coming up and if you're going to get it. And there's that whole thrill of the hunt, looking for a good deal. So I got a couple of things. What I found the most challenging, because they don't get to pick their inventory. They just get sent inventory. So I'm kind of picking up that people will join different LuLaRoe groups to try and get different pieces because there's all these different patterns and you can't specify. Like you can't look at a catalog and order something. It doesn't work that way. They get what they get and then you order from that. So this is my favorite, and you're not gonna be able to see it very well, but this is like a long shirt and it's called Irma and it's longer in back, cover my butt, and then shorter in the front. And it's got sort of that, I don't know what this sleeve is called. I am not a fashion blogger, but anyway, really cute.
Yeah, I'm not really impressed because their website is still down on most of the pages.
Oh, nice. So it's really super cute, super light, super soft, all of that. Great fit for that shirt. I would buy those all day long. But the thing is about that shirt, they size them down by 2. So like I normally would buy a small medium. I have to buy an XXS, extra small in that. Just
it's because they're trying to be so diverse in the big size, plus size.
I don't know.
To make them look large or extra large numbers.
But the other ones are normal. Like the other ones are normal. So, okay, so then I saw this skirt and I thought this was kind of cute. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a stretchy skirt. And it's fine. It's not that super soft fabric like the other stuff is made of. Okay, but if you're OCD like me, like the seams, if you can see it, they don't like they don't line up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then like on this part, like look at the hem.
Yeah. So it looks crooked.
Yeah. On one side, not both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a super cute skirt. It is. I mean, it's form fitting, so you want to have an Irma shirt to go over it. And I will totally wear it. I will totally wear it. But
well, how did you know that that's the size you were supposed to get? If that
total
other
guess.
thing.
So that's where you would maybe go to one in person and kind of figure out your size, and then you can order. Because so this is an extra small, and it fit me fine. So then when I was picking it up, I was like, all right, well, I can't really tell some of the colors very well online. So can I see this one pair of leggings that I saw? And so I did end up buying these two, which are super soft. And I have, for the last 2 mornings, put them on, trying to find something to go with them, and can't find anything to go with them, and taking them off. But they're
crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy legs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but they're super soft, so I want to wear them, but I don't have a shirt. I could not find an Irma shirt to go with them because they didn't have that in there. So either I've got to join another group or I've got to go to the mall and find a shirt to go with it.
That company is way too complicated for me. I'm not interested. I'm already closing it down. Their website is totally down on 90% of their pages, and I'm not going to fight for a pair of leggings.
Okay. It takes a lot of effort to want to be a customer. I mean, there's that thrill of the chase. There's excitement. It's fun fabrics and patterns, but you know what? I'm lazy and I'm busy, and I just don't think I have that much time.
Yeah. Not impressed.
But I like it. I can see why people are crazy about it. I mean, if somebody said, look, here are all the Irma shirts we have in your size, I would probably order a bunch. But anyway, so I think it's I do think it's indicative of the way kind of shopping is going. It is more of an experience. People don't want to go to the mall. They don't want to go to a home show, but they'll sit there in front of their computer. I did it for half an hour, and I was multitasking with, my kid and doing some other stuff. So anyway, the other thing that we were talking about earlier in the week, in terms of like product reviews, we were talking about those watercolor blocks. Remember?
Uh-huh.
So we did those last night.
Fun.
Show them to you. So the cupcake and I did ours in about 30 minutes. Okay, so here's hers.
Cute.
And so she painted all the sides. It was good. I had tons of like watercolors left, like pearlescent and metallics and stuff. So she painted this, and by the time we got back from basketball practice, it was completely dry. And it's even got little nail hook in the back so you can hang it. All right, so we had 3 total. So I did one, she did one, and then I left one for Hammond to do.
Okay.
So
did you do it?
That's mine. I mean, that's hers. You want to see Hammond's next or mine?
Doesn't matter. I don't know.
Okay, here's Hammond's.
Cute.
And
Good.
he knows how much I love Mackenzie Childs.
Yep.
See?
Fun.
So he did the sides like it for me.
Cute.
So that was kind of fun. And he had a really stressful day. So I called him and I said, look, we left a painting project for you out. And he's thinking, like walls.
Yeah.
No. This is like fun painting.
Do it
like therapy for your day. He said, damn, you did it. Like, just banged it out. And so this one's mine.
Fun. Cool. Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I give these a thumbs up. I thought they were fun. The only place that I have seen these blocks is at Joann's. I did a little research. It's Julie Comstock and Creative Girl. Julie Comstock, Creative Girl. I think her website is juliecomstock.com. And if you click through, it's got maybe one post that talks about her products being at Joann's.
Cute.
But there's a ton of different, you know, packages and designs. So like the ones that they did came to the package. And so you can kind of do that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's cute. I've got a, it's obviously it's winter here. So our weekends are indoors. Gonna find some more projects.
This was great. I just pulled it out. We sat down for 30 minutes and played with the paints and then started painting and we were done. So this is one of those things that like, if you see it go on sale, because when I got them, they were 40% off. I definitely buy them when they're 40% off. Otherwise, I think they're a little bit pricey.
Right.
But you know, they've got, can you tell that it's embossed? Like the gold embossing?
I can see the gold. I can't really tell it.
Yeah, so that was already there. And then when you paint on it, like this relief section comes out and appears. So it's like a little magic thing. And if you just look at the block, you may not realize that it's there. So you have to kind of angle it to see where the reflection is. But like the peace, the love, and the coffee were already there.
Yeah, no, that's cute.
But yeah, I mean, stock up on these when they're 40% off, and you need to always have something, you know. Sometimes you just need a nudge in the creativity department. So
I know I need a big nudge because I was looking at my options for a craft exchange.
You've not started?
No.
You don't even have your idea?
No.
You know, mail day is Monday, right?
Great. I'm going out of town this weekend too.
Going.
The hubby and I are going away for a weekend.
What?
No. I know, I haven't told you.
Where are you going?
We are going to Morgantown,
Virginia?
And then headed over to Pittsburgh. Yep. It's a birthday present for my husband. The story behind it is not a spectacular story, but his mom passed away coincidentally about 2 or 3 months around the time my mom passed away, and he has not been. So it's been 10 years. Wait, how long? How long has it been? 15 years? Oh my gosh, it's been 15 years. And he has a similar approach to this type of loss that I do. We try to suppress our feelings and not address them. And he is now wanting to go to the cemetery where his mom is out, I guess. And so he's never been there. So we're going to go and do that. So I'm looking forward to the weekend with my husband. It'll be a great trip. Not really looking forward to that experience because those things are hard for us. And even it's been 15 years. So
is she in Pittsburgh or Morgantown?
Morgantown.
So what's the Pittsburgh connection?
I think it would just be more fun than Morgantown.
Hey, not Morgantown. It might be a blast. You should just go and like explore.
Well, that's kind of, we have no plans. So we're going over to Morgantown, starting off there to the cemetery, and then we have no plans. I have a hotel, but I might change it. We don't know. So we haven't really looked at, but then point being is that crap, it's the mail date is Monday.
Oh yeah. How are you going to do that? You got to do it tonight.
I don't have a 1 day How many do I have to do?
I don't remember. I don't remember what group you're in.
I'll look that up.
I'm going to post it into Twitter that you need Morgantown ideas. There you go. Yeah,
Morgantown and Pittsburgh. I had a couple of Pittsburgh. My husband is a huge FS. What?
Pittsburgh's easy.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Well, he's a huge FSU fan, and when he looked up to see who, I don't know, basketball team, I don't even know, is playing, it said FSU, and so he like went crazy, and then he realized at FSU. So some basketball team in Pittsburgh, I think, is playing FSU. You know, I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So,
well, I'm sure you'll be able to find a bar that's got it on. It'd be more exciting to watch with fans from the area. Oh wait, he likes FSU.
Yeah, he'd be ready for the other teams. So
Gotcha.
crap. Can't you back it up?
Back it up.
It's my daughter's 12th birthday on next Tuesday. By the way,
What are you doing for it?
I haven't planned it yet.
Are you having a party?
I don't think so. I mean, we'll do family stuff. We'll do that. I don't think she's having, I think what she'll end up doing is we've had parties in the past, but the last 2 years, she has wanted just to go skiing at the Mad River Mountain. So.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Get her friends to do that. Yeah. When they get to be about 11 or 12, it's more about kind of hanging out with your friends and doing stuff opposed to the extravaganzas that we have been known for.
How disappointing for you. My clock's ticking.
Yeah. It is and it isn't. Yes, certainly. You and I love taking things to that next level and really enjoying all those things. But then on another level, it's also fun just to not have to worry about that.
So
and not have pressure.
Did you see there's a new book out called Breaking Busy?
No. Is it a slam on us doing cool things?
Probably. I refuse to read it.
What's going on with my computer here? No.
Yeah. So I think you should read it for Monday's Lab and tell us about it.
If it's a slam on just making our kids have cool, fun experiences, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I agree. But speaking of kids, I hear you spent some time in the school lately.
I did, and I have some insights. I have to completely change a position or an attitude that I have about, I won't say attitude, that sounds kind of harsh, but so backstory, my mom was a teacher for 30 some years. So I spent all extra time at my mom's job, the school, plus being at school. So, and I, of course, we hung out with teachers and stuff like that. So I've always felt like I really was pretty in tune with the kind of day and time or day in life of a teacher by hearing them talk and complain and enjoy. I don't want to say it's all negative because they love their jobs. But so yesterday I was in a kindergarten class for the whole day. And the day before that, I was in a first grade class all day. And I definitely realized, and I knew this, but not really, that the teachers and I knew this too. I mean, they put so much of their own money into these classrooms.
Yeah,
it's
I know that.
Ridiculous. I mean, I know we know that. We always hear, the teachers do, but I mean, so much money into these classrooms. And the school that I was at isn't a particularly large school. It's not a big school district. It certainly isn't a big town. So it doesn't have a lot of support financially probably for the schools. I mean, it's in not a great part of town. I mean, it's a nice community, but it's very small and it's not affluent, whatever. So I just sat there with these teachers and noticed how much of money that they actually did put in. I mean, they're not given a budget, like, okay. But so this relates to how we sort of send teacher gifts in. And we, you and I love doing that because it gives us an opportunity to be kind of, thankful and creative, which we love. I pulled a couple of things out. This is Megan's, but we did these little things for the teachers. Mm-hmm. You've done this. I think you did this for the teachers too one year. Now this is my daughter's, but we do these cute little blocks with their name on it, or we do the hand sanitizer with their name on it, or we send them, I wouldn't tend to do this, but a candle or lotion or
consumables. Yeah.
What's that?
Food, consumables, food, things that
box of chocolates, Cheryl's cookies.
Things that we would want to receive.
For sure. Super. I mean, I would love it if, one of your peers, your employees, your colleagues, brought you in cookies and said, you're appreciated. We thank you for what you do. But if I had 30 things of lotion, I would be not so excited about it. If I had a whole 30, and I didn't see this happening because I wasn't there on a teacher appreciation day or anything like that, but I just knew looking around that this teacher would truly love a rolly cart with fun duct tape, or because, you know, they're decorating them. They spend so much time making these classrooms colorful and welcoming and fun. And so I literally am going to change anything I do for a teacher from now on to be things that they could do. Now, I suppose you could say the argument that we should appreciate our teachers and give them things that they can enjoy on their day off. You know, if you're going to give your teacher a spa day,
yeah,
don't change a thing. Do that. I tend not to do totally personal things like that because I don't know if, I mean, people want to get their nails done or their hair done or that kind of stuff. So that would be nice. If you're in tune with your teacher's desires that way, then a spa day or whatever would be awesome. But if you're not, stop buying lotion, stop being lazy and buying candles, and go get a wheelie cart of scrap paper or construction paper, or, and this goes beyond just what they already get. Because, you know, when you're buying all the school supplies, you're sitting there going, I'm just stocking the teacher's closet. I mean, they don't need 8 things of glue. They do. They really do.
Budget for school.
You're losing. I lost you.
I'm sorry?
Huh? You kind of went robot, so I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, well, I mean, you assume that the school provides glue sticks and paper and stuff like that. Like, isn't that what our tax dollars are going towards? I mean, it seems like there's a disconnect. I mean, for our teachers, they will. Do you have Facebook groups for your teachers?
I'm sure they do. I don't.
Maybe it's because we're in a lower school, but there's definitely a sense of community. And our teachers, they'll either post things that they need in the Facebook group, like we have this event coming up. We really need Oreos, marshmallows, bamboo skewers, and glue sticks, you know, for example. And then people will start bringing that stuff in. Or the other thing that they'll do is, what is the donors choose?
What is it?
Donors choose.
Oh, uh-huh.
So they'll set up a site on Donors Choose a lot that will say, you know, these are things I need for my classroom, like Legos or snap circuits, or, you know, things that are maybe a little bit more expensive. And at the beginning of the year, they came out with a bunch of things on Donors Choose and said, you know, like, we need IKEA cards, we need Target cards, we need cards to, you know, and they were kind of specific about it. But I think, you know, we forget about that afterwards. And I just sort of assumed that that was because ours is a new school. It just opened not this year, but the year before. And so they're still trying to build up their classroom stuff. And, you know, I understand that budget is not infinite when you're starting a new school, but you're saying that that goes on.
Well, and I'm not familiar. There certainly could be Facebook things where the teachers kind of go in and say, hey, I could use this for a project and that kind of stuff. And I'm sure, I know that there's tons and tons and tons of parents that are in touch with helping out their teachers better than maybe I've been in the past. And I'm sure that, you know, per project and stuff, I just was looking around, you know, kind of sitting at a desk, and I see that, you know, she's got Sharpie markers. You know, she has her own personal stuff, and then she has the stuff, not personal stuff, things she uses to make her day kind of better, you know, or for the kids, stickers,
right,
stars, charts, you know, erasers, you know, and I think I know the school budgets are they have tons of choices. I really doubt that the school budgets are nailed down to, you know, Mrs. Smith's kindergarten class. She may get, I don't know, $100, $200 to go get construction paper, but it just is, there's no flipping way that her budget could cover what she needs to do for her kids, right, or wants to do to make them have a better experience. And I mean, I'm not a volunteer with our PTO. I am a participant. You know, when they send stuff out, I'll send food in for the teacher appreciation luncheons and that kind of stuff. But I guess I just was thinking, you know, there's several layers of people's participation in their kids' class. I mean, everyone participates at a different level based on their ability to volunteer, their ability to donate, or their ability to support the teacher's efforts. But on any level, for just even as the teacher's gifts, stop sending in lotions, send in Post-it notes, send in Sharpies, fun,
I'm making notes.
Cool stuff.
Huh? I'm making notes on your suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, cool paper clips. I mean, these teachers like to bring color and fun into their classroom, and we could help provide that as a better experience.
Well, I know in the past I have, again, we're in lower school, so it may be a little bit different experience than yours, but in the past I have provided Valentine's Day Valentines for kids who couldn't afford to buy them. So that they could be a part of that activity in class. But that was just, like, the teachers didn't tell me that. That was sort of from a conversation that went to the PTA president, just between a teacher and a PTA president. And then she just happened to mention it in passing to me. And I was like, that's insane. I'll take care of that. You know, I'm at the craft store all the time. Let me do that.
Another example is, in the elementary schools, our schools, they're allowed, the whole food thing is all different in every single classroom. This particular class, you're not allowed to bring in cupcakes for a birthday, but they are allowed to have a snack. So they're allowed to bring in their own snack. And so in both scenarios, both classes, they had time allocated for that afternoon snack. And I never thought anything of it. If AJ walked out the door and said he forgot a snack, I'm like, you're fine. You'll be fine. You don't need a snack today. You know, like, or whatever. But to be the kid, whether it's just because your mom forgot to send in snack or because your mom couldn't send in snack, to be the kid without snack sucks. And the one kid who was sitting there and he said, I don't have snack. I'm like, oh, well, let me see what I have. I'm sure there's something around here. And so I asked a couple of the other helper students, I'm like, where's snack? And I said, do you have extra snacks? Oh, I think she has some. So I found one bag of small pretzels. So that would be a great thing to send in little, but you have to ask your teacher because some probably don't want, and they certainly don't probably want peanut butter crackers or something like that. But send in extra snacks, extra juices, extra, I wouldn't focus on candy, but she needs to have the ability to pull out a snack for a kid who doesn't have it for whatever reason.
That's interesting because I can't tell you how many times we'll buy something at the store and then she'll decide she doesn't like it. Yeah. You know, and it sits in the cabinet forever because I'm not going to eat it. You know, I mean, tropical fruit squishies are not really my thing, you know, so I'm not going to eat it. So it just sits and sits and sits. But that's, instead of waiting until they expire and then throwing them away, just get them out of there and send them to the teacher.
Yes. It was a great experience, but kind of opened my eyes. Yeah. Everything from, if you see crayon boxes, like when you see the crayon boxes at wherever for a penny, because it's like the one school special at Staples to get you in to come in and get the rest of your stuff. Right. When you see stuff for a penny, grab 10 more and send it into the teacher. We cannot do enough, I think, in terms of some of the supply closets.
I know they always need Clorox wipes.
Yeah. Wipes and hand sanitizer and that kind of stuff, and Kleenex boxes and stuff too. But you know, that stuff's needed. But like, I was still trying to make a balance in my mind with the stuff the teachers need, and like, because then I was in my mind connecting it to teacher appreciation. So then I was trying to think of like fun stuff that the teacher likes to do with her stuff. You know, it's not fun to have extra hand sanitizer. I'm sure they would appreciate it and do it.
Right.
But you know, if you're looking at, you know, cute little tablets or cute little, you know, great job stickers at Staples, that I think are the things that they can put in their stuff to make their day, you know, a little bit more fun with stuff. So it's a great suggestion.
Like, I don't think about stickers, but I know that they use them if they had them.
Oh my gosh. And they're really kind of expensive.
They are expensive.
Really no teacher who's given a school budget is going to spend money on stickers. They're going to do the things that they need, but they would probably want those little things. So if nothing else on a teacher's gift, throw in a couple sleeves of stickers.
Yes.
And that they probably, seriously, I think they would be thrilled because then they get to put it in their cool little supply stuff opposed to their needed supply stuff.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, fun. It was a fun day for me, but I feel like I need to, I have an opportunity because you can't see it because I've strategically placed my camera in between.
Perfect slice.
I really, there's a very fine line. In fact, if this shoulder goes down too far, you'll see the presents that I have not passed out from Christmas. But on this side of my room is paper. And I have paper, scrap paper, going back to, I have paper that's 20 years old. I'm trying to think if that's an exaggeration, and it's really not. It's not an exaggeration. I have scrapbook paper that's older than most things in my house. So, and I've carted it from another house to another house. Not quite as old as all the children, but older than a lot of the children. It's certainly older than a lot. So I need to pull that stuff out and send it into the school. There's just absolutely no reason I need to have. I might peek it over there, but let's see here. Nah, you can't really see. But it's kind of it looks worse than it is. But if you see that back rack against the wall, that is entire floor to ceiling rack of paper. See, now I have to strategically put it back not to get to that side.
Duct tape is definitely on the mark because I've had teachers ask us for duct tape before. Like the librarian asked for duct tape. I don't even know why she needed duct tape, but.
And what else? What's that? That little fun tape? What is
washi tape?
Mm-hmm. Fun stuff. Scissors that cut weird shapes.
But
hole punches.
Some of that stuff we have like on our supply list. Like we have to buy it at the beginning of the year. So you think they need more?
No, I meant like I'm sure they're not asking for scissors that crimp or scissors that.
Oh, right. No, but like we each had to buy a big stack of construction paper and.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I was really trying to think of things that, and when like I opened up a floodgate because the one kid said his glue stick was toast. He'd like shoved it all the way up. This was like kindergarten. Like, oh, well, I'll go find you a new one. So I go over to the bucket and there's a huge bucket of glue sticks. So I know at the beginning of the year, when everyone was supposed to buy 2 or 3 glue sticks, she shoves it in this bin and everyone, well, then everyone's glue sticks suddenly had issues and they were all shoved up. And so I was like, oh crap, I just went through like 5 things of glue sticks. And so no, I'm not talking about the things that we're already sending in for. I think the teachers plan accordingly and appropriately for what they'll need through the year for scissors and glue sticks and whatever else it might be on your thing. Literally just saying, do something above and beyond that the teachers could use on their own. Don't do something. So I'm going to put a rolly box together of stuff for a couple teachers. Mugs. Don't give them mugs. See, I wrote down in my notes. They do not need another mug. Don't give them anything with an apple on it.
Yeah, I know they don't like the apples.
Paper, cute Post-it notes. Yeah. No lotion, no candles, no food. Gift cards, I'm sure. That would be, I think that's still fun, but to me, that's not very creative. I don't like that. But
okay.
I don't mind getting them, though.
Well, what if we give it in addition to stickers and duct tape and
in addition to I know they poster board, I don't think that's put on. Poster board, I'm sure they would love. That's kind of hard though, but and the other thing too is if you're at like a Joann's or a Michael's or something and they have the stuff on clearance, like if you go to the back of Hobby Lobby, our whole big wall is stuff.
Yeah, no, even Michael's has big clearance sections now. I don't know if you see them, but they kind of bury them in the back on the end caps.
They do. So there are a few things that if you literally went through there, like 1 or 2 things would be, but if it's something that they could use for a project, buy 20. If they're that cheap, just go buy 20 and do it. But I'm going to look into this. What do you call it? Donors choose.
Donors choose. Yeah. Our school uses that a lot for the teachers. Like if they, especially at the beginning of the year, but they will set it up at other times during the year too. And it'll be just sort of their way of reaching out. Oh, thanks for the hands. Reaching out and kind of being more direct about what they actually need for the classroom.
That's funny. So I remembered a story. I have two friends. You know them both. I'm trying to remember my friend Carol is a teacher and her sister is a teacher. And at the time, if I remember the story correctly, Carol taught in Albany, Ohio, and her sister taught in New Albany, Ohio. Now, no one out in our little audience probably knows the difference, but Albany, Ohio.
They're very different.
You couldn't get any more different. So Albany, Ohio.
Different socioeconomics.
Okay, so Albany, Ohio, lower economic. You're not going to get, much more depressed in that. Well, it's not a spectacular, but it's very low economic. And then New Albany was where Les Wexner lives, and he's very
limited and
owns the limited. So that is a crazy spectrum of money stuff. So teacher Carol was complaining to her sister about kind of the struggles she was having. Carol's in the lower area, so she was kind of complaining about the struggles she had in her classroom, and her biggest struggle was the kids there didn't have the supplies to bring in. She had to pay, you couldn't send home a school supply list and expect 1/3 of them to bring it back. So you weren't going to be able to stock, and they were still trying to struggle to make sure that those kids who wouldn't be able to bring in their own supplies had supplies. So that was a huge struggle. Jenny, who's in the other area of Ohio, complains that when she sends a school list home, she gets 10 times what she needs.
Oh my goodness.
And her issue wasn't that she got all these supplies. What happened is that in Carol's lower economic, the parents were a little more involved. So the parents would answer the phone when she had issues. They were appreciative of the services that were provided to their kids. Not everyone, but she felt more connected with those parents being involved than the New Albany school, who the parents weren't involved. You might be talking to a nanny. You might be talking to someone else. You weren't likely going to get parents coming to your festivals or whatever you're doing. So it was an interesting to watch them discuss how this section of town had, more money, but weren't going to get the parents' time. This would have the parents' time, but you're not going to get any money. So it's interesting.
Well, I think we all give in different ways, right? I mean,
absolutely.
If you don't feel like you can buy a rolly cart for each of the teachers in your grade, you may volunteer to take in all the food for teacher appreciation lunch.
But we gotta do something in any way. We've got to do something.
So what are you going to do this week?
It's Thursday.
Well, until our next show. You're traveling.
I am, but can I tell you how my Nest appointment went?
Oh, right. Yes.
So yesterday, we talked about this yesterday in reference to there are programs that, and I stumbled on it. I need a new thermostat.
Energy efficiency, savings in the home.
Yeah. I wasn't excited. It's not a very exciting purchase in my house. I need a new thermostat, but it was an opportunity for me to look into Nest. And so I was looking up Nest, and I stumbled on that my local gas company will provide an installation and Nest, which is a efficiency driven technology thermostat. Really? Yeah, so they would do that and provide a particular home energy performance report, and it was at $199. So it was installation, the report, and the Nest for $199, which the Nest itself, a third generation, is $249. So I wasn't here for most of the performance testing. My husband was here, but what they did was they sealed up my house, or closed all the doors and windows. It's cold. It's closed anyways. Closed the stuff. Put a vacuum system with this tarp on one of the doors and sucked out all of the air in the entire house. It was such a strong air filtering, sucking vacuum system that I have 2 attic doors that are hinged up on, I don't even use these crawl space attics, and they suck those doors off of their little hole. It was
seriously.
I know. I wish I was here because the one attic is in a vaulted ceiling, 12 feet up in the air. It's like a, you know, where your house peaks. It's like a weird attic, and the only way to get up there is like this really tall ladder, and there's this box, you know, so you have to pull this thing off. We don't even go up there. It ripped the door off the wall and landed on my TV.
That sounds like they did it wrong.
No, that was the point. So what they do is, I guess they suck all the air out, and then they go back and determine, I guess.
It's dangerous to be inside? I mean, come on.
I know, it sounds crazy. I wasn't
suck all the air out, you'd like die.
No, I mean, it was just, I don't know what they did.
Okay, so what were the results?
So then they go around and they determine where air leaks occur, because they've effectively pulled out all the air. And so I guess they wait a minute. I don't really know. I wasn't here, and I certainly couldn't ask my husband about it. He was very confused as well. But then they go around, they're like, okay, this area right here. And so what he did is he went to my basement and said, okay, if you look to see where your block is, my basement's really, really tall. And there's, you know, the space from the block to the, I don't know, next to the floor. He said, if you just put insulation on that 1 6-inch section down here, you know, that would be more efficient. You're losing efficiency there. You know, this window needs to be caulked. This window should probably be replaced. And then he like looked on the back wall and he said, I don't think there's insulation on this entire wall. So I can't tell, but it's a stucco wall in the back. So he was identifying areas that, and then the crawl space has the R30 insulation, but if you put R40 in there, it would be more. So he gave me this huge long report. So huge long report, all these pages. Gave me a little bit of a checklist of different things that I could do to make my house more efficient, and provided me information that if I do certain things would be eligible, certain things were not eligible. For instance, going from an R30 to an R40 insulation.
Eligible for what?
Well, because Columbia Gas, my company, this gas company, for no other reason than a commitment to a more efficient world, supposedly, will give me reimbursements back if I do some of these things. And this is beyond that tax rebate. This is an actual Columbia Gas rebate system that if I do X, Y, Z, and the company that they send doesn't do it. They weren't trying to hire, you know, have me hire them. They said, we'll give you a list of people that if you want to call, they'll help you do these things. But if you do this performance, if you seal, it's called air sealing. They seal your house, then the Columbia Gas said it would probably cost you about $300 to get this particular task done. They'll give me $97 towards that, whatever company I use.
Okay.
So, huh?
Okay. I'm trying to figure out who's making money here.
I know. Well, the only thing
when they sucked all the air out of your house.
I know. But the Columbia Air will, and so they gave me a list of contractors that do that type of stuff, but he's like, here's a list of them. Here are the companies that have been rated 5 stars by their consumers. And here's some that have been rated 4 stars by the consumers. Here's all the different counties.
And so what's your action item from that? What are you going to do with that report you received?
Okay, 2 things. One, he went to go install my nest, and which is the purpose of this whole process. By the way, he was here past dinner. I had to offer him dinner because it took so long. He was kind of a talker.
Was he there, like hours?
He was here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 hours.
What?
5 hours.
I don't have 5 hours to give to anybody. That's insane.
I literally, we just said, go do your thing. I've got to cook. I've got to make dinner. I've got to do stuff.
Meanwhile, he's casing your house. Have you been broken into yet?
No, he didn't seem like he was that bad. But anyways, so, and Rick followed him around for a while, but kind of got bored. But anyways, so they went to go install my nest, which I was super excited about. And it requires a 25 volt power line to the nest. And I have a 20 or 12.
No, so after all that, you couldn't even install it? Are you kidding
No,
me?
I would have to add an additional electric line to hardwire it to that particular spot.
No. Oh. So how much does that cost?
Depends on if my dad will do it. I mean, I'd have to get an electrician here to run power to that location. Or a higher amped power. I don't know. Or hire an electrician or see if my dad will come up and do it. Who happens to be qualified to do that, I guess.
Well, that's a big bust.
It was.
That stinks.
So I still don't have a thermostat.
That's the kind of, that 5-hour activity that you're talking about right there. That's the kind of thing where you bring your retired dad in and say, Dad, follow him around. My dad would have loved it. He would have asked him 1,000 questions.
He would have been there forever. But what they end up doing is they give you a report that says how your house compares to in efficiency. What areas of your home could you do better with your efficiency?
Okay, so what did it say?
Huh?
What did it say?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet. It's okay. Wait, see here. So, like it makes a big difference if you have it from like 70 to 68. Keep it at 68. I don't know, turning down your, I don't know. I can't read all this.
Is it stuff that you could find online?
Well, in a sense, yes. Some of the stuff I can see, it's template stuff, but it definitely goes in on my house and says, okay, listen, you've got R30 in this one attic. If you go to R40, it would save an enormous amount of money. If you put that insulation around those 6 inches in my basement that goes all around on the block, saves money. If you go into, then you notice that it was slightly different than a home inspection. Right. Being in real estate, I've been through lots of home inspections. And it said, you've got 3 bath fans and they're actually filtering into this location. But if they filtered into this location, it would be better.
So do you think that he sells you as a lead to contractors?
He said they don't. He said if I wanted to call any of these places that they recommend, great. I mean, he was a representative from the gas company.
Okay.
I mean, everything that he has is not dual branded. It's branded completely Columbus. There's no reference to other companies on any of the stuff.
So
it says if you
their outreach program, they just want you to spend less money on gas.
Yeah, I mean they. Literally, what's the purpose of this program? The purpose is to help consumers save money by using natural gas wisely through the installation of qualified energy efficient improvements. And then they give you a list of things that if you do them, they will give you a rebate on it.
Okay.
So, and Nest being one of them.
Excellent.
Hello.
So can I switch topics?
Yes.
Because we don't have to spend a lot of time on it because we're about done. But you and I are both in marketing. We do a lot of social media for clients. But we're also not millennials. Sadly.
We pretend to be. We Uber.
Yeah, we might have some millennial traits about us.
We have. I've been a millennial. I've been one since 1980.
So my biggest sort of struggle over the last week has been trying to figure out Snapchat.
I'm not a fan of Snapchat.
I know. I keep sending you snaps and you're not responding.
I won't. I've deleted it from my phone. I've deleted it from all my kids' phones. I refuse to allow my kids the opportunity to put something out there that they want deleted within a few seconds. Now, I know it's evolving into other kind of features and stuff, but no, I'm not going to put something. It sends the absolute wrong message that I'm telling these kids that everything you put out there is out there forever and nothing is safe. And yet you're going to make an app that says, oh, but it'll only be out there for a few seconds. Well, that's not even true.
Well, no, it's not true. It's out there for 24 hours.
Well, it's not. It's beyond that. I can screenshot something you send me in a heartbeat.
Yes.
It's not private. It's not. No, I absolutely. So I won't help you with Snapchat.
So I was on the social media examiner blab.
I love that website.
I do too. And so they keep talking about Snapchat. So I was like, all right, I need to figure out Snapchat because apparently big brands are using Snapchat.
They are. And now I sound like the old fogey that won't, get a cell phone because it's wrong. But.
So I'm like, all right, I got to figure out Snapchat. I got to figure out how at least have some, working knowledge of it right? So I'm on there. It is the hardest app I've ever used, except for
Then you haven't added. Then you haven't used Musically.
Completely off the rails, but that's a whole nother.
No, Musically is the hardest one I've used.
What is?
Musically.
Oh, I haven't even gone there yet.
So much fun.
All right, you can tell me about that one in a second. But anyway, so
now I'll save that because I'm going to talk about how kids are convincing television stations how their school is closed by pretending to be the superintendent on Twitter.
Huh?
Never mind.
Motorcycle?
These kids are getting on Twitter, creating Twitter accounts, claiming to be the superintendents of their school, and they're tweeting all the news stations.
Is that what happened to yours?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe could have.
That's funny.
It was a false alarm.
That's hilarious. Okay, so I'm on Snapchat. I don't know who basically to follow because it's not really my peer group, but there's a couple people from Social Media Examiner on there. And so they're doing these things where they'll like stitch together 10 snaps at one time to have a conversation. So you know how people on Twitter will have a streaming conversation? Yeah. But this is, it goes in order. So when you're watching it, it's 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, which is kind of interesting. But I'm having a hard time connecting with it and understanding it. So, when you get on it, it will tell you, search your contacts for other people on Snapchat. So I did that. Okay, so remember this. I told you about this. So a bunch of our friends show up in my contact list. I'm like, oh, okay. So I added a couple of them. And my friend Debbie was on there. And I was like, really? She's on there? Well, this will be kind of fun because she lives in Utah and that's totally away from me. And that'll be maybe something fun that we can connect with if she's using Snapchat. So I snap to Debbie. And it turns out it's not Debbie. It's like some pot dealer. I don't know where. And I'm like, wait a minute. This name is her name. And I'm texting her. So I know it's her phone number. So I don't know if it was the algorithm was weird or I don't know what happened. So I had to get rid of that. So then I'm like really afraid of Snapchat. Like I won't connect with anybody else because I'm afraid it's not actually going to be them.
That's true.
Safety.
Again, why you should not be on Snapchat.
Huh?
Again, why you should not be on Snapchat.
Yeah. Well, but if big brands are using it, I'd have to have at least an understanding.
No, we have to be in tune with it. You have to be in tune with it for two reasons. One, it's part of our industry. And two, it's a tool that our kids will use and we got to figure out how to stay ahead of it. That's true.
So, but I added a bunch of contacts and one of them was my neighbor that lives, high school neighbor that lives behind us. And so I connected with her and, all of her snaps or selfies and stuff, which, that age does a lot of. But it was so funny. I was at science night and her little sister comes up to me. She says, so Miss Trista, my sister told me that you added her on Snapchat. And I'm like, I did. Awkward silence. Are you on Snapchat? I am. Oh, well, we should connect then. Why don't you? She said, well, I don't know who you are. I'm like, I have no idea who I am. So we open it up and I'm like, okay, well, here I am. I'm T. Perot. You're going to have to find me because your name's Mackenzie and that's going to be hard to search.
Yeah, really. Modern day, Tiffany. Exactly.
So she added me and, it's kind of more selfies and whatnot, but I mean, it's cute. The reason also why I was intrigued by it is because on Social Media Examiner, they had a guy who is a lot older than us. I would say 13 years older than us. And he was on there talking about Snapchat. He's like, yeah, I'm on Snapchat all the time. I'm like, okay, well, if he can figure it out, I can figure it out. I'm here to tell you I still haven't figured it out. But I'm a little bit addicted to it. I have only a handful of people that I follow. And they update a lot. But like one of them keeps posting. Like she's our age, maybe older, and apparently lives quite the nightlife. And is posting things from the bar all the time, and I've seen her in a professional setting on social media, and I'm like, whoa, that's shattered my whole image of that. So I've made a point to know that I'm not going to, I'll never drink at Snapchat. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know, we should probably talk about that one time in depth, because I have lots of conversations with realtors, and, you know, they debate whether or not they're going to have a Facebook page that is sort of, you know, friend of, you know, stuff, or they're going to do a Facebook page that is, you know, professional, so they can add their clients in it. And we have lots of conversations. I have lots of conversations with these agents about kind of, you know, if you're going to balance two, you know, personas, why, you know, gonna do that? You know, why do you need to do that? And is then this, you know, how, I don't know. I have some feelings on that. So we should talk about that. Being a professional on FaceTime or Facebook. Being, you know, a realtor is a kind of a public figure per se. They're going to be out there putting themselves out there, and the balance of private life and, you know, how Facebook can form. I don't know why my phone's blowing up.
Mine's blowing up too. It's like an episode of Rizzoli and Isles.
I know. I told you. Yeah, really. I do. I have a 1 o'clock appointment, so I got to go. All right. Well, I do have to wrap this up because I do have to get to the next appointment here. But
me too. All right. I'll see you on. What is this? This is Thursday. I'll see you on Monday.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye.